What's up, guys? Have you ever wondered how professional sports bettors make money? Well, let me show you. There's people that are on my TikTok and stuff like that. There's a lot of haters on there. I don't know what it is, man. It's just like TikTok is just has that environment, which is cool. It's whatever. We get a lot of views and stuff like that from TikTok. A lot of you might have found me on TikTok, so I'm not going to hate on that. But one thing I wanted to point out was, for example, this guy, he follows me. He's been following me for a couple of weeks. His first message to me was, I lost money because of you. So I was like, okay, that's we lose, sometimes we win. I'm gonna actually show you how much money I've made in November, December, and January so you can see. But there is some red days in there. Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Most of the time we win. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that we win every day. So a perfect example, I kind of got over that a little bit with him because I started winning and I had a 9-day winning streak. So then yesterday I lost one bet and we actually won two bets. So we were 2-1 yesterday. And then he goes and says again, mean face, I lost yesterday because of you. And I'm like, dude, you've been following me for 9 straight days or 10 days, whatever it is, a couple of weeks, and you've been winning. Now, yesterday you took one loss on one game and you're going to cry about it. I'm sorry, man, but if you're that type of person, I'm not saying any of you are, but if you're going to cry about one game, this is not for you. I went weeks, sometimes months, losing because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I'm going to show you just a little glimpse of all the data that I look at nowadays compared to what I used to look at, and all the information and process, everything that it takes to be a professional. So stay tuned for that. If you follow me here, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to give you guys 2 plays at the end of this. I'll give it throughout this video, but I want to quickly just touch on how the process is of how to get the best edge against the books, because these guys are the smartest people in the world. You're pretty much competing with the best people in the world, the smartest people, I should say, not the best. But there's a way to leverage that. There's a way that the public talks to you, the casinos talk to you. If you know what to read, you know what to look for, then you'll start reading what you're seeing. So I'm going to give you an example now. Before I give you the example, please go on the link in the description or go to beastsportspicks.com. You'll see the link right above me. And then once you get there, you're going to get the free picks. We post a lot of free stuff. I'm also going to give you, on top of the 2 plays, I'm also going to give you the stats for props for basketball today. We post like the top props to look at, and they're 80% or better hit rates on the overs and the unders. I'll get to that in the same video. But please go to the link in the bio, click on free picks. If you haven't done so, make sure you click subscribe. Sometimes people think that they're subscribed, but they're actually not. So make sure you click on subscribe. I'm going to break down a little bit, I'm going to not go super deep into it, but I'm going to go a little bit into exactly what we look at. So you can see what the type of information you have to have in order for you to start winning, because these books have all the information and a lot of people do not. So we started getting a little bit more on the level playing field when we started looking at all the data. So actually, I thought about this a little bit better. I'm not going to go into all the digging deep into the details here. I'm just going to give you the breakdown. So for example, we look at the head-to-head trends. Everybody looks at that stuff, and that's pretty much where they stop. So basically what head-to-head is, you're looking at one game, what they've done in the last 10 games or 20 games or whatever. You look at the other team, what they've done in the last 10 games or 20 games, and then you put those together, what they've done against each other. I did this for a long time. Now we have something called insights. So on the insights, it gives you the breakdown. Like let's say, for example, the Celtics, whenever they start as a favorite, they're bound to win 90% of the time. Or for example, the Wizards, when they're an underdog, they lose 85% of the time. Or whatever that is, the insight, that's what goes in here. Then we also have line moves. So, you know, I paid a lot of money when I was learning this stuff on just how to read lines and things like that. And that was actually very powerful. But I did pay a lot of money just to learn how to read these lines. That's how important that process is. So here it is, line move, we put that in there. And then you got the over-unders, the line move as well, you put that in there. And then you look at the projections. Now there's professionals that go out and they do all these scrapers just like I do. Well, actually, I don't know anybody else that does scrapers besides me. But a lot of people, they look at projections. So they use algorithms. And the way they get algorithms, they sync into other channels like ESPN or whatever, and they pull the data, and then they put all these algorithms together, and they synchronize them together, and they say this team is supposed to win 100 points, this team is supposed to win 50 points, whatever. So total combined is 150 points. Whatever that is, that's a projection. They tell you, okay, this team is supposed to win by this many points and stuff like that. So we grab all that data and we put it right in here as well. And then we grab the injury report. So sometimes I'll like a game a lot. Like, for example, I loved the Cavaliers yesterday. And I actually said I'm going to buy it back to 9.5. They were supposed to get that easily. The line was actually at almost 16 when I saw it. But then Mitchell was out. So then they barely won this game by 6 points. They were down by like 10 or something. So the one injury can make a huge impact. Another example is today's Jokic. He's supposed to be questionable. If he ends up being out, that line that's minus 15, you buy it right now at a plus number on the other side, you're going to get great value if Jokic is out, because that one guy on the Nuggets team is such an impact that the line is actually shifting down from the total. So this is what I mean. If you don't know this kind of stuff and you're not looking at the correct data, then you're lost. I'm sorry to tell you, man. That's just the way it is. Or you're shooting blind. So real quick, again here, I was at a $40 and $20 unit size back in November last year because I was, barely starting to break even and making money and all this stuff. So I was actually like around $20 to $40 as my unit size. As I started hitting a lot more, my bankroll has increased so much that I had to raise it. Now I'm at around $100, $120, and then my half units are between $50 and $60. So, anyways, this was the reason I bring that up is that this is $1,700 in November. But if I would have been at what it is now, which is $100, this would have been double. This would have been almost $3,800 instead of $1,000. I hope that makes sense. It would have just basically been double. So that's for November. Here's the December. I actually just noticed after I took this, I just noticed that when I put it in here that there's some days missing there. So I have to go back and see what happened there. But anyways, I was around $1,900. I know you might not believe that, but whatever. I'll present that later. I just didn't want to go back and look at it right now. But basically, I went over $1,900 in December, $1,700 in November. And then in January, I'm about to cross $700. So you can see on the 6th, I lost $236. Otherwise, this would have been closer to $1,000. Obviously, on the 4th, I lost money too. And the reason you see that tomorrow it says 100, I did a parlay for tomorrow. And that one lost the first leg of that. So that's why, which was the Cavaliers yesterday, actually. So even though the Cavaliers won, I lost the bet because I had them at a minus 9.5. What I'm trying to say here, overall, you can see it's $700. December was $1,900, and then November was $1,700. So again, because I started doubling my bankroll, and now I have my unit size as double, that's why I'm losing more, but I'm also winning more. So by the end of this month, if everything is going according to plan and how it's been, I should be around a couple of $1,000 profit. So just to show you guys again, we went 2-1, just like I had said. This was yesterday. We had Notre Dame, however you say that. And then we had the Cavaliers minus 9.5 with the Ravens. That lost. And then we had the Houston Rockets. So again, it's a 2-1 day, 0.65 units increased. I said I was not going to include this in our tracker. That's why it's not included, but I actually threw this live. So anyways, if you look here, I said, go on. I was actually live. I said, it's a little bit riskier because Mitchell's not playing. And right there, it's showing the score at the end. But when I did this live, you can see it's a minus 122. The Cavaliers were losing by like 10 points or 12 points. So I bet that live because I was already following the game. I already had the money in there and all this stuff. It's not that I was chasing. It was that I saw that there was great value in this money line. So I took it and it hit. I didn't count it as a win in the bet tracker because I said this was not going to be tracked. This is just for my internal numbers, and it hit for me. All right, guys, I'm going to give you guys the over-unders on the NBA props, and then after that, I'll give you the two plays. These NBA over-unders are, it's okay, I want to make that very clear. These are not our plays. These are just very strong stats. So for the over, you can see real quick is the team, the player, the prop, and then the odds, and then the last 10 games, what they've done. Again, this is not our plays. These are just very strong stats. So, for example, Brook Lopez, 1 assists. He's gone over this time 9 times out of 10. Again, you can see the date up there, January 10th. You got the team, the player, the proposition, and then you got the odds, and then the last 10 games, what they've done. Notice on the top, it says under. That's very important. And now for the two plays, thank you so much for listening to me vent out a little bit and rant. But this is important because if you don't have the right mindset for this, then you're not going to make it. I'm sorry to tell you. So if you want like the good information that is going to get you to a professional level, we are going to start doing mentoring, and we also have a Discord that we're working on to open up actually tomorrow. So I'll put a link for that. I'll start talking about it tomorrow. If you want to start, if you're interested in to start learning how to do this stuff and getting like one-on-one mentorship or get on the Discord, make sure you text this number 630-447-9504. So send a text message to this number and then just say, hey, I'm interested in learning how to get the sports betting going and stuff like that. So I can get you hooked up with that. All right. So for this game right here, the first one I'm going to give you right now, it's going to be the Celtics and the Kings. They're going against each other. If you see here, the spread is huge right here. The current line was like -11. I don't trust the Celtics to break this ATS record here to go over that line. So I was looking at the over instead. You can see the projected score right here. If you add those up, it's 230. The current line opened at 227 and went all the way to 230. I think it kind of stopped at 230, but I bought it back down to 226. So you can see right there, it started at a 227. It went all the way up to 229. I think it went up to 230 and it kind of stopped right there. Right here is telling you this was an earlier screenshot. It stopped at 229 on this screenshot. So again, the first play is going to be Celtics and the Kings over 226.5. That's my first one that I have. So anyways, the first play I'm going to give you guys is going to be the over 226.5. You can see is the Sacramento Kings versus the Boston Celtics over 226.5. Now, I did a half a unit on this because there's a little bit of contradiction here. I don't want to get into all the details, but there was very little contradiction here. And when it's super public favored like this, then I don't so much because pretty much everybody's reading the same stuff, and I don't like to see that. So that's the only reason I'm going half a unit. It's 226.5 on the over. If you don't want to deal with figuring out all this stuff, if you just want the plays directly to your phone and your email, either get the free stuff there or go on the VIP. If you click on the VIP right here, you're going to get every play that we post. We're going to give it right to your inbox and right to your phone. So, for example, yesterday, if you would have been on this VIP and you would have got the alert on your phone, and it would have said, here you go for the Cavaliers -122. Now, when the Cavaliers first started the game, it was like a -900. So for you to get it all the way at a -122 is very great. And it hit for us. So again, if you want the VIP stuff, you don't really have to think about anything. You're going to get the play directly into your phone and your email. Then you want to go into the link in the bio and then click on. For the second play, it's going to be my most powerful play of the day. It's going to be the Thunder versus the Knicks. You can see the Thunder, it started at a -1.5, and then it went all the way up to -3.5. I think it's still getting pushed to -4, -4.5. You could see all the money and everything is correlation with this. However, you can see right here, the projections are saying that they're only going to win by 3. So I bought it back a little bit to a -2.5. So you can see here, I bought it back all the way to a -2.5, and this is a full unit for me. The reason I bought it back to a -1.5 is because the Knicks have a very good team. I feel like OKC is going to win this game because they're a little bit pissed off. They actually made history the other day on Wednesday. They had 15-0 record, or I'm sorry, 15-0 run. So they were winning on a 15-game winning streak, and the Cavaliers were on a 10-0 winning streak. So they broke a record in the NBA saying, okay, two teams are over 10 games winning streaks, and they faced each other. So the Cavaliers won that game, and the Thunder worked off. I saw Shea Alexander. He just walked off. He didn't even shake nobody's hand. So they're pissed off. Now they're going to come and play with the Knicks. They are playing in New York, which is not a good thing, but they are fully set up to win this game. I think, what's his name, Towns from the Knicks, he's questionable. They're pissed off. The OKC's pissed off. I feel like this is a very good position for OKC to redeem themselves and get back on winning streak. So anyways, again, I'm going for the -1.5. I looked at the line move. I looked at the head-to-head trends. I did all of the research, basically, and it's looking like OKC for today. I hope that makes sense. Thanks for listening to me. We've done over almost 6,500 people on TikTok. We're about to cross 700 on YouTube. Make sure you follow me if you haven't done so. Click on the link in the description for the free stuff, for the VIP stuff. And if you want all the data that I just talked about, get broken down, that's all the way at the bottom. All the link, it says daily scraper data. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a good day. Thank you for all the support so far. And if you have any questions or whatever, or you like the information and you've been winning, make sure you comment. Let other people know that you've been winning. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much.